and trying to decide what type of services seniors really want. So it's not like it used to be. They are looking for technology, and they're looking for a place to gather and a place for exercise, and we just do not have the adequate facility. So we have been working on a different location, and we've been working on using the bus. Kathy Barnes is fantastic, and we've been working on using that bus to get people into Frederick for more trips for grocery store and things like that. The seniors haven't wanted that as much as we had hoped for. When the grocery store first disappeared, we brought that up and we talked to them, and Kathy said that's just not an option. The city was going to put some money towards that, but that was really not an option according to the seniors. So we have some work to do with the aging population.
Thank you. Mr. Snooze?
I will agree. We do have some work to do with the aging population. I think we need to meet with them more. We need to have roundtable discussions with them, because there are things that we have offered and they just don't want to do it. The senior citizen building, yes, we've talked about it. We've talked about relocating it. So the council mayor and council are looking at our seniors and how we can help them. But we need to get them to open up more to us and tell us what they want. So I have to agree with what the mayor said there, because we are reaching out to them. With our tax incentive, maybe we can get a cab service in here. That'll help, transport them to the grocery store where they need to go. So yes, I would reach out more to our elderly population, our senior citizens, and find out what exactly services do you want us to provide? What do you need? So an open meeting, a meet and greet, house visits, whatever we need to do to get them more involved, I'm willing to do.
Thank you. Sidewalks is an issue. It's in the paper, we've heard it this evening, in questions to the council. Is there a problem with the sidewalks in downtown? And if so, what do you propose? Mr. Snooze?
Sidewalks is a huge issue, and absolutely the sidewalks are in disrepair. They need to be replaced. My suggestions with the sidewalk is yes, they need to be replaced. We need to make our atmosphere and look much better, but the biggest thing is safety. Okay, we need to have safety, or sidewalks that's safe to walk on. But how do we do it? Okay, it was thrown out, maybe a year ago. We're talking about it. There is, the program that Councilman Lashley presented to the council, where somebody can go get a loan, if they're an interest-free loan, and I supported that absolutely. If someone willingly wants to replace their sidewalk and get an interest-free loan from the city, that's fine. The issue that I have is forcing people to repair the sidewalk, or replace their sidewalk. And yes, everybody says, well, it's the ordinance. Well, the ordinance can be changed. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to have public input. We have not had any public input or meetings with our citizens, okay? It's you guys that we want to hear from, okay? I'm uncomfortable with walking up and saying, you're putting your sidewalk in, we're going to put a lien against your house, you don't pay for it. I'm uncomfortable with that, because it could happen to me. I'm a citizen. But I want public input. We need to find out, what are our priorities? What streets need to be done first, okay? Like I said the last debate, 8th Street from 2nd Avenue to 8th Street to the school, there is no sidewalk there, okay? There's no place for the children to walk, or me if I want to go walk. You're going to get hit by a car. You have one place to walk. So what are our safety, where are our priorities? Where's the streets that need to be done first, okay? The safety comes first, okay? We'll make the list, but we have to have meetings. We have to have open meetings with our citizens, because we need their input, okay? What the council, mayor and council may think is a priority could be completely different than what our citizens are thinking. So we need to have more meetings, and I encourage more meetings, and set a goal and a plan.
Okay, the difference between being on council and being mayor is that mayor, you enforce the ordinances. So our ordinances, if Councilmember Snoots wants to change the ordinances, the council has always had that opportunity to bring that forward. So the problem is that sometimes you have to say no to people, and a leader has to have the courage to do that. The issue with the water rates came up. You have to have the leadership to do what's right for the majority of the people. In our ordinances right now, any sidewalk is the responsibility of the property owner. It is that way, and I think at least 85%, Councilmembers Lashley had given us a number. But it is that way in the majority of cities. So if we want to change that, if the council feels that they need more meetings and they need more council, more citizen input, then they're going to need to find also the amount of money that it's going to be required to pay for those. That is public money. We have 67.84 miles of streets, including Galen Manor, not Brunswick Crossing. We have a lot of sidewalks. It's a lot of money.
Thank you. Because Ms. Tome mentioned Mr. Snutz's name there, he has 1 minute to respond.
She mentioned my name, that council can change ordinance. We can, okay? But I don't want to call a change an ordinance if I haven't heard from the citizens, okay? Anybody can change an ordinance to make somebody happy, okay? That's not the goal. That's not my goal. I want to hear what the taxpayers who are going to foot the bill have to say. And if it comes down to where the majority of the citizens want a change in the ordinance, then we'll bring it up, okay? We've brought other ordinances up to change on the council. So public input is the #1 thing that we have to do first, okay? If that leads us to a possibility of a vote and change the ordinance, then we take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, we have heard repeatedly about the lack of access to a grocery store in the community. And one is projected to be built but isn't built yet. How would you address this situation of the lack of a grocery store? And you would go first, Mayor.
Okay, this is the #1 question that I get going door to door. So we are getting a grocery store with Weiss. The government can only do so much as far as it goes in locating businesses to town or bringing business to town. Somebody very soon after the grocery store had gone out approached me and said, why doesn't the city triple the taxes on Brookswood's property up where the old Fresh and Greens were? Why can't they do that to incentivize him to get something in there? I asked them, be careful what you want government to have the responsibility to do. So there are property rights of owners, and we have to be cognizant of that. So we have worked hard in trying to get business here. We have worked hand in hand, tried to work hand in hand with the property owner up at the old Fresh and Greens property. We have not had any luck getting that done. So you got to just be careful what you wish for. We can only do so much. We have done everything we can to keep Brunswick Crossing moving forward. We have contacted the county about are the permits in the county now. We have moved things through with the city. So we have done absolutely everything we can possibly do to bring a grocery store here. I don't think the majority of taxpayers want to be paying to have a grocery. to build a grocery store here.
And we have done everything that we can to get the grocery store. And like the mayor said, there's only so much the government can do. We cannot force Safeway or Giant. You have to come to Brunswick. We can't do that. The grocery store is coming. I'm a firm believer in the grocery store. It is coming. It's not coming quick enough. Okay? The issue that we have with the city, if the city had a partial of land that we could go to Weiss or Wise or Giant, whoever, and say, bring your store to us, okay, we'll either sell you this cheaply, we'll give you a tax incentive on this piece of land to build a grocery store. That would give us an upper hand, but we don't have that, okay? If you look around, we don't have very many flat areas in Brunswick, okay, to build something. So I do believe that the shopping center is coming. I think another reason it slowed down was the economy slowed down. The houses weren't selling out at Brunswick Crossing as quickly as they were. Okay, but now it's picked back up, and I see it's booming, and I'm happy for it. I think that has also led to more emphasis on the grocery store coming. Okay, because you've got to have so many residents that can support it, is what they tell me, and I agree with that. But we have done everything that we possibly could do as government leaders to get a grocery store in. We just can't force them to come.
Thank you. We've talked about the aging population and the downtown sidewalks and the lack of a grocery store. There are lots of other services as well, inadequate public transportation, the sewer, turnover of the police, and so forth. Which would be your priorities in the next term as mayor, whoever is mayor? What would be your priorities? And again, in terms of fiscal responsibility, how would you implement your priorities in a fiscally responsible manner? And I believe we'll begin with Mr. Stoops.
Well, the first priorities I would look at is our surplus. We have a lot of money sitting out there, okay? So the first thing that popped in my mind when we did the budget, looked at the budget was, okay, we have a sidewalk issue, so maybe there's some money there to start on the priority sidewalks, okay? So that's an issue. We have money. How do we spend our money? You know, some people's like, you got all this money, you need to spend it. Well, you can't spend every cent you have, okay? But we shouldn't have that much money sitting in the bank, okay? We need to look at capital improvements, okay? I'm used to building a budget 5 years out. You do your fiscal budget now. It's in place, but you start working on the next one now. Okay, so the next fiscal budget, we start working now. You got to look at capital projects. I know the sewer pipes, they need to be built out. You need a capital improvement project that goes 3, 4, 5 years out. We need to look at those things. This is why I keep talking about the finance committee. I want a finance committee. If I'm elected mayor, we're going to have a finance committee. And it's not going to be made up of all council members. It can't be because of the quorum laws. But I want citizen input. The citizens are out there. You know what we want. You know what we need. Okay, so we need that input. Sewer pipes. We purchased some cameras for the public works to look at the sewers, to track leaks and things like that. They need more. I think they have 3. They need more. Okay, it cuts back on manpower. It saves on water leaks. We need to look at that. But the biggest thing is planning for the future in capital budgets. Okay, looking at what's a priority. Okay, our sidewalks, our streets, our infrastructure. To me, they are the priority things that we need to look at and we need to plan now. Okay, out for 5, 10 years. That's what we need to look at. Again, I want to iterate, we don't want to spend every cent we have just because we have it. We have to spend it wisely. So we're looking at sidewalks. I'll be looking at sidewalks. I'll be looking at capital improvements. Those things, all those things that I mentioned, those important things. Infrastructure is really, really important to me.
Thank you.
Okay, so over the last several years, my opponent has had the opportunity to go ahead and suggest that we get a finance committee together. He has had that opportunity and he has not taken it. We do have a lot of issues out there that do need to be fixed, but we do have to look at priorities. Water and sewer has always been one of the most important issues to me. When I became mayor, that was has been one of my priorities. That is what you lose sleep on, and then emergency preparedness and stormwater. So we have been using the surplus, and I don't understand why my opponent doesn't understand that. We have been transferring some money from that surplus into some projects. We have about a $1.1 million we're spending on paving between last year and this year, and that is to keep up with, to handle some deferred maintenance projects for paving. So we are using that surplus. If I had come in as mayor and suggested we go ahead and spend, $1 million or $2 million or whatever of that surplus, I would have been pretty highly ridiculed, I believe. So we are using it responsibly. There are projects, if the council wishes to use that, I wish I could hear from them on their budget recommendations. I don't believe, the only things I've ever heard from my opponent to use for the budget would be yard waste pickup, and then he decided against that because it was too expensive. And then the other was giving the fire and ambulance more money, and we did that. I put that in the budget this last year. So if my opponent has projects that he would like us to use the money on, I would really appreciate hearing that.
Well, I'm going to exercise my discretion as moderator, and I think my opponent is just about next to calling someone out by name. So I think that it would only be fair for Mr. Snoots to have a minute to respond.
What leads me again to the Finance Committee, okay? The budget's put together so quickly, okay, and given to us so quickly. And yes, we've had the opportunity, okay, to put stuff into the budget. I'm just not going to put money into the budget without researching on something, okay? The Finance Committee is what needs to do that. I have asked for the Finance Committee, and council members on the council now have asked for Finance Committee, and every time we were told the mayor was not putting another Finance Committee in because the city administrator says we cannot do it. So I don't know how many more times we need to have to ask, but I will say the Finance Committee has come up because we've, as council members, have received a memo through email asking us who wants to be on it or who doesn't want to be on it. So to me, the Finance Committee is important, and I think my opponent is realizing now that it is important and it's something that the council wants.
Again, I'm going to exercise my discretion. So Ms. Tome will have 1 minute to respond.
Okay, the budget is not put together quickly. We have several months putting the budget together. The end of March, I asked for council input on the budget. I was told that that needed to come at a public meeting instead. So we put it on the agenda for the next meeting. I still didn't get any input. So the budget is not put together quickly. Yes, so I won't go there. Okay. As far as the Finance Committee, it is not because the city administrator told us that it's not right. Had morphed into a special meeting of the mayor and council where there was a quorum of the council. That has to be advertised the same way as a regular meeting. It was not being advertised that way. So it's the professionalism of the city administrator in correcting that problem that we stopped a Finance Committee meeting. But we could call a special meeting anytime.
Thank you. So I think we'll all get out of here in a timely fashion now. There are several other questions from the audience, but I think in the interest of getting out of here at a reasonable hour, if the same proposal will hold where these questions will be posted online. Okay, thank you, thank you. Now we will have closing statements if you choose. And I'll be honest with you, I've forgotten who goes first after this last interchange back and forth. But,
How much time?
Rock, paper, scissors.
yes, it's 1 minute. 1 minute. Fine, I'll give you 2 minutes. I'm easy. Mr. Snoots, you don't mind going first, do you? Okay, thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's attended these forums. It's not easy up here, okay? It's fun, you have to be nice, but you got to get the point across, okay? The reason I'm running for mayor, okay, and why I would like to have your support, I want the best for Brunswick as well, okay? I want to focus on big issues first, improving our economy and upgrading our infrastructure. We've talked about that tonight. Over the last 4 years, we've spent so much time and so much meeting times on who can have a chicken pen, who can have chickens, are we going to do pay-as-you-throw, when there's so many more important things in the city that need to be addressed. I want to open up communication to our citizens. I've heard a lot about City Hall, a lot of complaints about the administrator. I have to address those. I'm not going to hide behind those things and then win mayor and surprise everybody. So I want openness. I'm very approachable, okay? I'm available all the time. People who's dealt with me and talked to me, they know that I'm available. I'm open-minded, okay? Some may not think I'm open-minded because I don't agree with the decision. But I want to represent everybody. And again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't see the split against old versus new. It's just political views that's doing this. I care about Brunswick. It's my hometown, okay? It's everybody's hometown, whether you're new or whether you're old. I will represent each one of you in Brunswick, okay? I will have an open government. I will address problems. I will address issues. I want to look at, our police department needs more staff. I think the mayor and council, we all realize that. There's a lot of things I want to work with. The main thing is I want to get the committees back open, Finance, Utilities Commission, and I want to get citizens involved in our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, when my husband and I first drove into Brunswick, we said, what potential? And so for 25 years, I've watched several sets of mayors and councils work on creating plans and programs to redevelop our city. In the last 4 years, however, we've been able to bring a whole new way of thinking and acting to Brunswick. A professional consultant had told us, be bold, think outside the box. So we did that. We developed vacant property ordinance to discourage blighted properties. We achieved state enterprise zone designation to give developers and business owners a financial reason to reinvest here in our city. We brought a vibrant mural to downtown in collaboration with our Brunswick Main Street organization to celebrate art and our heritage. We've inspired a growing group of residents to pitch in and work on recreational trails and parks in order to bring more activities for people of all ages in this community. So under my leadership, we've been able to energize this community, and you saw that very clearly tonight. We work together with county, state, federal officials to help us begin down that track to that realized potential. So I want to assure citizens, your government is professional and it's doing everything to act responsibly in your interests. The bottom line in this election is this. I've shown proven leadership qualities both as a council member and as a mayor, and to keep us moving in this positive direction. And I want to question, what are my opponent's accomplishments? So we can't go backwards, we want to go forward. Why would we change now? We are on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you. To thank the candidates and to make a couple of announcements, Ms. Melanie Cox from the League of Women Voters.